What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another video for you guys. We're going to be going through a predicted lineup for the Liverpool game Saturday, 5:30 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Before we get into the predicted lineup, you can see at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, that is our website, WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk. Check it out for all blog posts and merchandise that you can go see on our website. Really would appreciate if you go over, and it really does help support the channel. But now let's get into the predicted lineup. Now, the injuries news has come in after Ange's pre-match press conference, and the sad news going into this game is Brennan Johnson is ruled out for this weekend's game. He isn't going to be available after a tightness in the hamstring last week. He said it's enough to keep him out, although he did stress that it's not a serious injury. He joins Bentancur, Sessegnon, Lo Celso and Perisic on the injury list. He did mention Bentancur, saying he's starting to perform little things with the group, like warm-up sessions, but no serious training just yet, so he's not quite fully integrated in training. But Brian Hill could be available for selection after he participated in first team training, so that's very, very positive, and he adds another attacking option to the team, so that's very good. But for the lineup for the Liverpool game, we are going for the classic 4-3-3 formation for this one. Obviously, in goal, we're going to go for Vicario, who had a great game at the Emirates last week, and he could be in for another busy game this week.
Yeah, he's one that's really impressed me since coming in, to be honest. Well, I say since coming in, probably since the second game of the season against Manchester United. And his shot stopping is so impressive. It really is. Some of the saves he's pulled off this season have been unbelievable. So he's going to have to carry on the form that he has been on so far this season. I felt like his playing out the back from Arsenal was a bit disappointing, so I'd like to see him improve that a little bit. But all in all, I've been super happy with Vicario, and I think it's something that we've needed in goal for so long now, with Hugo Lloris been just basically chucking the balls in the back of the net for the past couple of years.
Yeah, his save percentage so far after 6 games this season is second to the opposition keeper, Alisson, this season. So I think it goes to show how impressive he has been when it comes to his shot stopping so far. Right back, we are going for Pedro Porro. Obviously improved massively so far defensively this season. Going forward, we all know what he offers. He's got a wonder of a right foot, and he might need that in this game with some like passes over the top from deep. And he's definitely going to have to be on his defensive game up against a tricky customer in Luis Diaz.
Yeah, and look, Pedro Porro is improving game on, game out in terms of his defensive output from what he's shown. We all thought coming into this season that Emerson was going to be the #1 right back because of the defensive solidity that he does bring us. But after the first game, even because Emerson had a fairly good game, scored a great goal that day, but we haven't looked back since Pedro Porro has come into the team, because that defensive output has massively improved from him. And when you're looking at trying to feed Sonny in behind, he's got the quality to really do that from a position that's quite deep on the football pitch. So he's going to be really important for us in this game.
100%. Next up, Cuti Romero and the right centre-back slot. Obviously, last time out of the Emirates, the game wasn't maybe his best. He did get an own goal and gave away a penalty, albeit I did think anyone claiming he had a shocker or a terrible game was probably a bit overstated. And he did end up having a pretty solid game. But up against Darwin Núñez, he's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it's going to be a really physical battle between them two. Both of them really physical players. And it's going to be interesting to see who does get the upper hand. Obviously, I'm going to back Cuti Romero, and hopefully he can kind of do that anticipation and get in front of Darwin Núñez even before the ball even comes to him. So I think it's going to be a really tough and physical day for Cuti Romero, and probably his toughest day of the season so far as of yet. So it's going to be an interesting battle.
And next to him, the elegant and faultless Mickey van der Ven, who had a brilliant game last time out in the North London derby. Interesting to hear him talk about his partnership with Romero in some quotes over the last few days. And he was saying how he feels like they're really perfect for each other, and he makes Romero calmer and Romero makes him more aggressive. So I think that was really interesting to hear. But again, yeah, he's going to have a very tough game against Núñez. And as well, Salah cutting inside and potentially Szoboszlai moving in the half spaces. It's going to be a very difficult game for him.
Yeah, it is. And I love those comments from Mickey van der Ven, to be honest. And I really think, like he says, they complement each other so well. What van der Ven does really well, maybe Romero kind of leans on him for, and I think vice versa as well. So I was so impressed with Mickey van der Ven last week at Arsenal. I thought he was our best player in that back line by some way as well. I thought Arsenal just could not get any spare change out of him throughout the day. And I think he needs to have a carbon copy, if not an even better performance against Liverpool this weekend, if we stand any chance of winning the game.
And if he says he makes Kuti Karma, maybe that's why he only committed one foul or so far in the first 6 games and only 1 yellow card. So something seems to be working definitely in that partnership. Left back, Destiny Udogie. Now, obviously had a fairly difficult game against Bukayo Saka last week, although I thought he came through it really, really well at the end of the day and grew into the game. And as Ange said, became the dominant player on that left-hand side. Coming up against an equally or maybe even a better player this time out in Mo Salah. Going to be a very tricky game for him again. He's going to have to be on his A game watching where Salah's picking up all those awkward positions. But with how he started the season, I think he'll be confident going into this game.
Yeah, and he's got every right to be confident with the way he started this season. But I would say if he starts like he did at the Emirates, that back pass that was terrible, getting booked early, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to maybe fight his way back into the game, because I think Liverpool will be clinical with us and they're not going to kind of miss the chances that Arsenal did on the day. So I'm calling on Destiny Udogie to have a much stronger start against Liverpool than he did against Arsenal, because that was worrying signs at the start of the Arsenal game. But the way he grew back into the game and the way he didn't let that yellow card and those mistakes face him is very impressive.
Yeah, and at 20 years of age, to not let that get to you, I think a lot of younger players in that position definitely would have buckled under that pressure and wouldn't have the mental toughness to not just stay in the game. But what was so impressive is he kept making tackles, he kept battling with Saka, and he actually ended up winning that battle in that second half. And I think that's the most impressive thing. He didn't shy away from those challenges despite being on a yellow card, and he ended up coming out on top. So I think that was really impressive. In the number 6 position in the midfield, we're going to go with Yves Bissouma, obviously being one of the shining lights for Tottenham so far this season. And I think in this game, especially with how Liverpool's midfield is set up, he's definitely going to have a big say in if we can win that midfield battle. And I think he's going to be licking his lips when it comes to who's pressing him, that he can take him on and create space for Tottenham's attackers.
Yeah, and I think in terms of where this game is going to be won and lost for Spurs, I think he is going to be so vital for us. If we're going to have any sort of ambitions to win that midfield battle, he's going to have a similar game to how he's been playing all season, to be honest. And if he can take his form so far in the first 5 games of the season and bring it into this Liverpool game and show that aggressive nature to his game, that ball carrying ability, then I think we can win the midfield battle, and I think we can win the game. So Bissouma is going to be absolutely vital for us.
I bet Liverpool wish that Bissouma was on their team, because that would really just complete their midfield, wouldn't it, if Bissouma was theirs? But luckily he's ours, and we should take advantage of that on Saturday. On the right of the midfield, Pape Matar Sarr, a decent game last, maybe not his best game against Liverpool, against Arsenal, but still had a fairly decent showing. Was also booked early on, but didn't let it affect him. And we're going to need those legs, running around against this Liverpool midfield, because with McAllister and Szoboszlai and even Curtis Jones in the centre, they've got some really good technicians in there. And if we allow them to dictate the game in the centre, then that can spell a lot of trouble for us. So we need Sarr to be on his A game here.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a lot of the good work Sarr does, especially in the North London derby, goes a bit unnoticed, because he's not that flashy player that's going to do like what Bissouma does, and it's really nice on the eye. But what he does do, he goes a bit under the radar in terms of how much he runs around in that midfield, how much energy he has, and how tenacious he is at times as well. So I think Pape Matar Sarr as well is going to be so vital for us.
Yeah, 100%. On the left of the midfield, we are going for James Maddison. He is subject to a potential late fitness test after an injury he picked up last week in the North London derby. But he did train today, and Ange Postecoglou did say that he's come through everything that he needs to come through. And if he reacts to training well, then he should be fine. So we are going to go with him, and he's going to be super important in this game, because I feel like if Liverpool don't play Endo and they don't have a true number 6 in that midfield, he will definitely be looking at that and thinking, I can get into all sorts of spaces to hurt Liverpool on the weekend. And I'm sure this could definitely be a good game for James Maddison.
Yeah, of course it can. I mean, this guy's the danger man for Spurs. He is so vital to the way we play, and I fear every time he goes down, because if he goes out injured, then I'm not sure if there's anyone in the squad right now that can take up the mantle of what he brings for us in terms of creative play, off the ball work as well, the way he tracks back and wins the ball back countless amount of times, and not only that, but the leadership ability on the team as well, which you're seeing week in week out. And it feels like at the moment, like Maddison's a bit of a ticking time bomb in terms of his injury. Every single game we see he kind of goes down. Every single game we're worrying about him getting injured. Left the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on crutches against Manchester United, and we're thinking, oh God, what's going to happen here? He played the next game against Arsenal. He had that really bad challenge, and we're thinking, oh God, is he going to be out for a while? It looks like he's going to be playing this weekend. So hopefully it keeps like going in a positive way, but I don't know. It seems like a bit of a ticking time bomb for me.
Yeah, and Postecoglou did say as well that James Maddison has been playing with a few niggles pretty much all season, especially in the last few weeks, and he didn't go into that North London derby at 100%, but was still able to pull off 2 assists and get through the game. So that just goes to show the quality of the player. Maybe when he gets to 100%, maybe we'll see even more from him, but he's playing so well at the moment, and he's going to be vital in this game 100%. On the right-hand side of the attack, we're going for Dejan Kulusevski. I thought had a really good, an underrated game, I felt, against Arsenal. I didn't see too many people giving him the praise I felt he deserved for the role he played for the team. Maybe, again, a bit similar to Salah. It wasn't the flashiest role, but he's quite really good at retaining possession and relieving pressure. When we're under the cosh, we can give it out to Kulusevski, and he can hold the ball with his strength, and he's such a good ball carrier as well when he gets into the final third. More often than not, if he's taking you on, he wouldn't necessarily beat you, but he can get the ball into that penalty area and cause problems, and I think he's going to have to do that in this game, especially against Andy Robertson, if we're going to really be hurting Liverpool in the final third.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting matchup, that Kulusevski against Andy Robertson, to be honest. But I agree with you. I think he had a really strong showing at the Arsenal game, but it wasn't a kind of showing where he really got in behind Arsenal and was testing them and providing a really good outlet for us in terms of hurting them creatively. But what he did do is what you said, is kind of kept retaining possession and made it really difficult for Arsenal to get on the ball. And I want to see more from him to kind of hurt Liverpool in an attacking way, which we know he can do. So I want to see him use that crossing ability. I want to see him cut inside, get a few shots on, and really influence the attack and help us break down that Liverpool side. So as much as it was a good performance from Kulusevski at the Emirates, I still want to see more from him.
Yeah, I think he did take advantage of Zinchenko's lack of physicality and the fact that he's more of a technical player, and he kind of dominated him physically. But whether he can do that to Robertson, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a different kettle of fish. Up front, we've got Heung-min Son in the central attacking position. Obviously, scored 2 goals at the Emirates in what was a fantastic showing, and we know what he can do with his runs in behind when there's space left for him. He was also potentially subject to a late fitness test because he was also picked up a little niggle against Arsenal, but Postecoglou said that he was also come through training today and he should be fine for the game against Liverpool. So also as well, a very important player who we're going to need, especially with Brennan Johnson out. And he has got 5 goals in his 5 goal contributions in his last 5 games against Liverpool. So a player who knows how to play against this side.
Yeah, always turns up when we play Liverpool. He provides the threats that Heung-min Son have is like Liverpool's kryptonite at the end of the day. His running in behind, his clinical finishing. This is the way we're going to beat Liverpool. We need Heung-min Son fit and firing if we've got any chance of beating this Liverpool side, to be honest. And I want to see that clinical edge that we saw at the Emirates from Heung-min Son. That first goal from Heung-min Son with Rice, Saliba and Gabriel all around him, and all it takes is one flick in between the 3 of them and it finds the back of the net. We need to see that sort of high-level finishing and high-level movement from Heung-min Son if we're going to get anything out of this game.
100%. And on the left-hand side, we are going to go for Manor Solomon. Brennan Johnson probably would have started if he is fit, but he has been ruled out. So the only other option really on the left-hand side, with Perisic also out now, is Manor Solomon. But Solomon had a great game against Burnley a couple weeks ago. pretty solid showing as well against Sheffield United in the home game. So I'm not worried about him, but he doesn't really offer the threat in behind that maybe some of the other players do. But what he does offer is that dribbling ability with the ball to feet, and with Trent's maybe defensive liabilities, maybe he can get a lot of joy on that front. So I'm confident Manor Solomon can make an impact, but maybe it's not quite the impact that could hurt Liverpool as much as other options.
Yeah, look, I like Manor. I really do. And I think what he's shown in the Spurs shirt so far is impressive. But, you know, it's different horses for courses sometimes. And in this game, we needed Brennan Johnson to provide that dual threat. And it's a big kick in the teeth for me that Brennan Johnson's not going to be playing this game. But having said that, I do have faith in Manor, and hopefully he can have a big game and a good game to really hurt Liverpool down that left-hand side. But there's no getting away from it. Brennan Johnson is much more suited to this game.
Yeah, 100%. But let's hope Manor can really step up. It's going to be obviously his first start against a team like a big team, basically, or one of the top teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. But let's run through that lineup one more time. We've got Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie at the back, Basuma, Sarr, and Maddison in the midfield, with Kulusevski, Solomon supporting Heung-min Son. Now, the predictions, I've gone for 2-2 before the game. Ben has gone for 3-2. You sticking with that prediction, knowing that lineup?
100%. 100% I'm sticking for it. Well, I say 100% because I was about to change it to 2-2 when I heard that Brennan Johnson's out. But like I said in the preview, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking strong. I'm backing the boys, and we're going to come away with 3 points this weekend.
All right, well, let's get ready for what is set to be a barnstorming game. I, for one, am very much looking forward to it. I'm going to be in the stadium getting all the match day experience content. Ben, unfortunately, is a bit under the weather, so he'll be watching it from home, but you'll have
COVID has got the better from me, unfortunately.
Happens to the best of us, but we'll have Stel and Brian in the studio, so watch out for the watch along if you are if you're not going to be at the game. So tune in with them. But we'll see you all very, very soon. Look out for all the content on the weekend. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.